Hello friends, this is the continuation of the chapter Vital Statistics. In the previous video, we have learnt about introduction to vital statistics, sources of vital statistics and its uses. Today, we shall discuss about fertility rates, different measures of fertility rates, its merits and demerits. Now, fertility refers to the birth occurring to women of childbearing age group. The question is, what is childbearing age group? The woman whose age is between 15 to 49 is called as childbearing age group, or it is also called as germination period. Okay, now the capacity of women to bear children is called fecundity. It is a maximum fertility level that a woman can attain during her lifespan. That means during her reproduction period, the maximum fertility level that a woman can attain is called as fecundity. Now, different measures of fertility are crude birth rate, general fertility rate, age-specific fertility rate, and total fertility rate. We shall discuss this one after the other. The first one, crude birth rate. Crude birth rate is defined as average number of live births occurring to 1000 individual. That means if we get crude birth rate as 23, that means 23 births are taking place per 1000 individual. Per 1000 population, 23 births are taking place. Now, CBR can be calculated using the formula B divided by P into 1000. B is the number of live births and P is the average population. Or the other formula is crude birth rate is equal to number of live births divided by average population into 1000. Now we shall have a look at the merits of crude birth rate. The first merit is it is simple to understand and easy to calculate. If you know the total number of live births and the total population, CBR can be found. Second one, it does not need detailed information for calculation of crude birth rate. It does not require the details about age and sex composition of the population. That means it does not require how many people are there in the age group 20 to 25, 25 to 30, etc. Third merit is it indicates the rate of growth of population due to live birth. That means at what rate the population is increasing due to birth. Okay, now the demerits of CBR are like this. The first one, it ignores the age and sex composition of the population. It does not consider age and sex composition of the population, but birth is meaningful only to a woman of childbearing age group. So, the first demerit is it ignores the age and sex composition of the population. Second one, it takes both men and women population into consideration. Okay, as I told you before, birth is meaningful only to women of childbearing age group and therefore there is no need of considering the men population. Third one, it cannot be used to compare birth rates of two or more population. Suppose if we want to compare birth rate of Karnataka with Kerala, CBR cannot be made use because it does not give importance to age and sex composition of the population. Now, the next measure is general fertility rate, which gives importance to sex composition of the population and to a certain extent age composition of the population. General fertility rate is defined as the average number of live births occurring to 1000 women of childbearing age in a particular year. For example, suppose if we get general fertility rate is equal to 153, that means 153 births are taking place per 1000 women of childbearing age group. Now, The formula of general fertility rate is something like this. It is the ratio between the number of live births and the average population of women of childbearing age expressed in 1000s. Or in other words, general fertility rate is equal to number of live births occurring in a year divided by average population of women of childbearing age group into 1000. Now we shall concentrate on the merits of general fertility rate. The first merit is it is simple to understand and easy to calculate. Second one, it considers only female population of childbearing age group. It is one of the requirement of fertility rate. Third one, it considers the sex composition of the population and also the age composition to a certain extent. Sex composition because it is giving importance only to female, and age composition because it is giving importance only to women of childbearing age group. Okay, the demerits are something like this. It does not consider age composition in the childbearing age. That means it does not find the fertility rate in different age group of childbearing age. For example, if you want to know what is the fertility rate of the woman whose age is between 15 to 19, this measure cannot be used. It finds only the fertility rate of a woman whose age is between 15 to 49. Second one, it cannot be used to compare fertility rate of two or more population. It is not a good measure of comparison. It does not indicate rate of growth of population due to birth because it is based on a part of the population. Here we are considering the population of female of childbearing age group and we are not considering the whole population. Okay. The next measure is age specific fertility rate, which gives importance to both the age and sex composition of the population, and this particular fertility rate finds the fertility rate at different age group of females. Age specific fertility rate is defined as the average number of live births occurring to 1000 women of specific age group. Okay, ASFR is defined as ratio between the number of live births in the specified age group and the average population of women of that age group expressed in 1000. Or in other words, we can define age specific fertility rate as number of live births occurring in a specified age group divided by average population of women of that age group into 1000. The interpretation is something like this. Suppose if we get ASFR for the age group 15 to 19 as 60, then 60 live births are taking place per 1000 women of the age group 15 to 19. Okay. The merits of ASFR are the first one. It is simple to understand and easy to calculate. Second one, it is used in the calculation of total fertility rate. We are discussing about total fertility rate after few minutes. Third one, it can be used for comparison of fertility among the age groups in the same population. That means you can compare the fertility rate between the age group in the same population but not of different population unless that population has the same age structure of the given population. Okay. Now, the fourth merit is it considers both age and sex composition of the population. Demerits, it cannot be used for comparison of fertility of different population because here we are not getting a single number, we are getting fertility rate for different age groups. Second one, it does not indicate the growth of population due to birth because we are not considering the whole population, we are considering only the females of a childbearing age group. Okay, the next one is total fertility rate. Total fertility rate is used for the comparison of fertility of different population. Now, we have already learned crude birth cannot be used for comparison. GFR is not used for comparison. ASFR is also not used for comparison. Now, the fertility rate that is used for comparison is total fertility rate. Total fertility rate is defined as total of annual age specific fertility rate of females of childbearing age group. Annual ASFR means ASFR for the age group 15, ASFR for the age group 16, ASFR for the age group 17, then ASFR for the age group 49. So TFR is the sum of ASFR 15, ASFR 16, ASFR 17, ASFR 18, likewise ASFR 49. Therefore, TFR is equal to 5 into sum of quinquennial ASFR. Actually, TFR is equal to sum of annual ASFR, which is equal to 5 into sum of quinquennial ASFR. Now, quinquennial ASFR means ASFR for the age group of width 5. For example, ASFR for the age group 15 to 19 is quinquennial ASFR because here the age group 15 to 19 has width 5. Okay. Next, TFR indicates number of children born per 1000 women of childbearing age, provided none of these women die before the childbearing age is completed. In TFR, one of the assumption is that all the women will survive till they complete their reproduction period. Reproduction period is nothing but the period between 15 to 49. Okay, now the merits of TFR are something like this. The first one, it is used for comparing the fertility rate of different populations. Second one, it gives importance to age and sex composition of the population. Yes. The third one, it considers only female population of the childbearing age group. Because to find ASFR, we are making use of the age group from 15 to 49. But we are finding ASFR for the age group with the width 5. Okay. The demerits. It does not indicate the rate of growth of population due to birth. The reason is it does not consider the whole population. It considers only the population of female of childbearing age. It is based on an assumption that all women will survive throughout the childbearing age, which is not true in reality because some women may die before reaching the childbearing age. Okay. Now, the next topic is reproduction rate. Now, one of the limitation of fertility rate is that it does not give an exact idea about growth of the population. It gives a rough idea about growth of the population, but it does not give an exact idea about the growth of the population because they ignore the sex of the newly born children and their mortality of female children. Now, if majority of births are boys, then the population will decrease. On the other hand, if there are more girls, obviously population will increase. It is also important to consider the mortality of female children before reaching the childbearing age because some children may die before reaching childbearing age. Not all the children will survive till they reach childbearing age. Okay, now this limitation of fertility rates are rectified in reproduction rates. Now what we require is the fertility rate which finds only number of female children because the female birth today are the female mothers in future. Now reproduction rates are the fertility rates which finds only number of female children. There are two types of reproduction rates. The first one is gross reproduction rate. Second one is net reproduction rate. The difference between gross reproduction rate and net reproduction rate is that in gross reproduction rate, we don't give any importance to mortality of female children, and in net reproduction rate, we give importance to mortality of female children. And both these measures find the number of female children. Now, we shall consider the three fertility rates, that is TFR, GRR and NRR together. Now, what TFR finds is total number of children born per woman. GRR finds number of female children born per woman. NRR finds number of female children that are alive. So that is the difference between TFR, GRR and NRR. Now, gross reproduction rate is defined as a measure of the average number of female children that a woman is expected to give birth during her entire reproduction period by considering the fertility but not mortality of the female children. We consider the fertility of the woman, but we do not consider the mortality of female children. GRR is defined as sum of annual WSFR, which is equal to 5 into sum of quinquennial WSFR, where WSFR is nothing but a number of female births occurring in a specified age group divided by average population of women of that age group into 1000. Now, the merits of GRR is it is useful for comparing fertility in different areas or in the same area at different time points. Second one, in the calculation of GRR, we are taking only the female babies who are future mothers. We are not considering male babies. Okay. The demerit of GRR is something like this. It ignores the fact that all the female children may not survive till they reach the childbearing age. That is what I told. GRR does not give any importance to mortality of female children. It assumes that all the children will survive till they reach the childbearing age, which is not true in reality. Okay. Now, the interpretation of GRR is something like this. If GRR is 1, that means number of female children is equal to 1. Okay, that means current generation of female is replaced by one female child and therefore there is no change in the population in the next generation. That means one female replaces one female child and therefore there is no change in the female population, and therefore in the next generation we assume that there is no change in the population. If GRR is greater than 1, that means number of female children is greater than 1, then obviously the population will increase. If GRR is less than 1, the population will decrease. That is the interpretation that we can make out of GRR. Okay. The next measure, that is net reproduction rate. It is defined as the average number of female children born to a female if she passed through her reproduction period by considering both the fertility and mortality. We consider fertility of a woman in different age group. We also consider the mortality of female children in different age group. Now, NRR is defined as 5 into sum of WSFR and S, where S is the survival ratio. It is nothing but probability that a female child will survive for one more year. Okay. Next, the merit of NRR is something like this. It takes into account current fertility and current mortality. Yes, it will show a tendency of increase or decrease in the population. If NRR is greater than 1, we can conclude that population is bound to increase. If NRR is less than 1, it says that population will decrease. If NRR is equal to 1, that is an indication that population will remain constant. Demerits. It assumes constant rates of fertility and mortality over a generation. That means it assumes that the fertility structure and motility structure, or fertility status and mortality status of females remain the same in the two generation, which is not true in reality. The second one, the population may decline more by migration than decline in birth. Now, decline in the population is due to many factors and migration is one of the factor. Therefore, what the second demerit says is decline in the population is not because of declining birth. It may be because there is decline in the migration. Third one, it cannot be used for forecasting future population changes. Only thing we can say is whether the population is going to increase or decrease or remain steady, but we cannot project the population. Okay, this is about the merits and demerits of various fertility rates. Now, if you find that my video is informative to you, then please share, like and subscribe.